So our last presentation Thank you very much. Okay, so the next, the last one is best practice in Peg 2 care by Deborah Mons from Greater Altoona Career and Technology Center.
Hi, I'm Deb Mons from Altoona Career and Technology Center, and our focus has been evidence-based practice, cost-effective evidence-based practice. And in our sim lab, we use our, what I call a peg box. And it literally is cost-effective. This is what our paper comes in for our copier machine. And I'll show you how I do my lid. My lid, and I will have several boxes going at once, as many as I can manage and supervise students. But I do find that peg care and medicines and the flushes and bolus feedings, it's all cumbersome to these new students, and that they need that hands-on. Now, first of all, they get the lecture first. Then they get to practice it in the sim lab, and then we go to the clinical setting and do our peg care. We use this box in all levels of our nursing. We have 4 levels in our particular program. But you can see the basics. We start off with the neck, the breasts, the ribs, and that's where your peg tube would be going in. So the students, they get to see what it looks like, touch it, feel it, smell it, whatever they need to do. Inside my box, I have a basin, and I have my basin filled with water. And to save you a tip, I also cover the bottom with a garbage bag, because when this peg tube is not in the right location, and the students are pouring in their water and their medicine, it can just flood out. So that's just a time-saving tip that has been helpful for me. But anyway, we use it in all levels of our program. And for the first level of nursing, as we learn our vocabulary that's new to everybody, we learn, how to use those words and those descriptors and exudate and erythema, and learning how to write and talk in detail. So I put my lid on my box, and it is filled with water. And in the first level, we also talk about how to clean the peg tube site and then how to write it. And there's a fly around it. Okay, in the second level, then we start to get into more detail. And with the more detail, we would talk about how to verify placement. And best practice, based on evidence-based practice, is that you verify with an X-ray. You look at gastric contents and you see what the pH is. Now, however, in various facilities, some are still using the air bolus, and so we do show them how to do that. And we do emphasize knowing what your policies are and following best practice. So I would like to show you how I use it, and I do have a couple of stethoscopes. If somebody wants to hear, you actually can hear the click of the air bolus going in, so it's pretty cool. So if somebody wants to come and be a witness, I don't know if you're going to hear it from where you are, but oftentimes as I'm working side by side with the students, I can actually hear it because it is just a box. But it is cost effective, and when too much water spills out, I could just get a new one from my copiers. Oh, feel free. This is awesome. Oh no, my stethoscope fell apart here. Technical difficulties here. All right, well, you can be my listener. And I do have an alcohol swab for your ears and for the base of your stethoscope here. And then, of course, they would also do this under supervision. But this is something that I would also include having set up in our skills lab so that they can come and practice it, because it can be quite cumbersome, like I said, to the new practitioner. So here we go. You can be my witness here. And you want to put your stethoscope right here. And
Never listen to a box.
you can hear it.
Sounds like my stomach.
Okay, thank
Awesome.
you.
She's real.
Yeah. And so I can also get and check my pH balance. So I'm going to just pull this out. So I can go ahead and check my strip. Then I will return whatever's left over. And now I want to check for my residual. And then we talk about the policy of the over-distended stomachs and waiting and those sort of things. Because it's a box, the residual is endless. I can pull forever and ever. But they really get the idea that you can get a residual and then that gets returned to maintain the electrolyte balance. So I will do that. So also in our level 2, we'll talk about how to prime the tubing for continuous feeding, and then they can hook that up as well. We also have them do bolus feedings, and I will show you a bolus flush of water. So I can really do everything with this box, and it really is cost effective. I've made good friends with the person in material management at the hospital, and so some of these PEG tubes we have bought as a program, and some of them we've gotten from our hospital connections here, and so they get the idea that they have to add more fluid before the solution actually goes all the way in so that there's not air. And then the next thing that I'd like to show, so that's really level 2. In level 3, we start adding medication to the equation and looking at several things. And what I did here is I brought a sample. So I would look at a doctor's order. I would compare the order to the MAR. And then after doing all of this, I would then have them document on the I&O sheet. And it's amazing how they forget all the little blocks and the squares and what shift they have to do on. So as much as I can repeat the process, that's really helpful to our students as well. So what I'd like to do is just show how in the 3rd level we add medicine. In the 4th level, we would add even several medicines. So I will show you that and go from there. So first, we do the flush. Sometimes it's a challenge to get it in before it all goes to the end. So flush, med, flush, med, oops, and flush. And we really have found that this makes a difference in their comfort level in the clinical setting and has really made a difference. It's cost effective, it's hands-on, it correlates to the clinical setting, and it's been very useful to our program. I do have some handouts, and it does talk about some of the site-based articles from there. So those who are interested in that, feel free to pick that up. Thank you.
So that concludes best practices. Please make sure that